Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
I can wait.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's class. It's from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 5, beginning from text 133. And this morning, we're very fortunate to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami to give the class. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay, well, I think you have to unmute when you get ready.
Haribo, Parikshit.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, to accept all the obeisances, all glories to you, to the Father. It's all yours. Not hearing any sound yet. Looks like briefly Maharaj is frozen, but it's obviously from his end. But devotees, be a little patient. Sunday still.
Haribo, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, yes. Hare Krishna.
Anasuya, she's still sick?
Yeah, she's went to pneumonia now, and so she's coughing badly.
Oh, really? Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. She can hear me though. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ataeva śrī-kṛṣṇa-caitanya gosāñi sarva avatāra-līlā kari sabāre dekhāi. Therefore, Lord Caitanya has exhibited to everyone all the pastimes of all the various incarnations. Text 134. He Rupa Nityananda Ananta Prakash Se Bhava Kahe Murhi Chaitanya Das. Thus, Lord Nityananda has unlimited incarnations. In transcendental emotion, he calls himself a servant of Lord Caitanya. Kabu Guri, Kabu Sake, Kabu Brita Lila, Purvayena Tina Bhava Raja Kaila, Kaila. Translation. You can't see it. Oh. Sometimes this refers to Lord Nityananda. He serves Lord Caitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, sometimes as his servant. Just as Lord Balaram played with Lord Krishna in these three different moods of Raj. Verse 136. Vrishahanna Krishna Sana Makta Matirana Kabu Krishna Kari Tanrisas Para Salvahana. Playing like a bull, Lord Balaram fights with Krishna head to head. And sometimes Lord Krishna massages the feet of Lord Balaram. Appanake Brittakari Krishna Prabhu Jane Krishnera Kala Appanake Mane. He, refers to Nityananda, considers himself a servant and knows Krishna as his master. Thus he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion. Text 138. Vrishayabhanu Vardhantu. Vrishayamana Vardhantu Yudyadata Parasparam anukritya ruthar jantums cheratu prakrito yata. Acting like ordinary boys, they played like roaring bulls and they fought each other. And they imitated calls of various animals. Purport. This and the following quotations are from the Bhagavatam 10:11:40 and 10:15:14. Kachit krita parisrantam, kachit krita parisrantam, gopat sangopabarhanam, swayam vishrambayat aryam, pada samvahanadibihi. Sometimes, when Lord Krishna's elder brother, Lord Balaram, felt tired after playing and laid his head on the lap of the cowherd boy, Lord Krishna himself served him by massaging his feet. Eya vakuta ayata daivavanaya uttar suri prayomayatsu me vartum nanyamepi vimohini. Who is this mystic power and where has she come from? Is she a demigod or demoness? She must be the illusionary energy of my master, Lord Krishna. For who else can bewilder me? Purport. The playful pastimes of the Lord cause suspicion in the mind of Lord Brahma, and therefore Lord Brahma, to test Lord Krishna's lordship, stole all the Lord's calves and cowherd boys with his own mystic power. Shri Krishna responded, however, by replacing all the calves and boys in the field. Lord Balaram's thoughts of astonishment at such wonderful retaliation are recorded in this verse. Om Gyantam Dasya Gana Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Desatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Dhitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha śrī-kṛṣṇa-caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these series of verses indicating Lord Krishna in his mood as a cowherd boy playing with Balaram. Just as Lord Nityananda is Balaram, and Krishna and Lord Caitanya is Krishna. Rajendra Nandanaye Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Balaram Hoilo Nitai. So that same Krishna in Vrindavan, Rajendra Nandana, has become Lord Caitanya, and that same Balaram has become Lord Nityananda. And their mood towards each other is in the mood of cowherd boys. So that way they play various games with each other, as you see here. This refers here to when Krishna killed this very powerful called Aghasura. And Aghasura was such a powerful demon that the demigods came out of the heavens and held a big concert in the sky, in the heavens, glorifying Lord Krishna killing Aghasura. It was such a tumultuous, you might say, kirtan, that everyone in the heavenly planets heard it, including Lord Brahma, who was above the Swargaloka. But he heard it. But when he came out, the kirtan had died down. and he saw that same boy who had killed Aghasura. But he didn't recognize him as his eternal master, Lord Krishna of Vrindavan. So he was thinking, after he saw the results, that who is this boy? He's so powerful. He killed this big demon. Let me test him. So that same boy later on was playing with his friends on the banks of the Jamuna. And then they got tired playing, so they decided to have some lunch. So they're all sitting there eating lunch, and the cows and the calves are also there. But at one point, the cows started to wander away and look for greener grasses. So at that time, Krishna said, "Oh, don't disturb your lunch, my friends. I will get the cows." So he went looking for the cows. But while he was gone, Brahma decided to play his trick. So using his mystic power, apparently he captured all the cowherd boys and calves that were there, put them in a cave. When Krishna came back, he understood everything. He said, "Oh, this is the play of Lord Brahma." So what Krishna did, just to show Brahma that actually he has no power at all. He's very powerful. But Krishna manifested himself as each of the cowherd boys and calves, exactly according to their everything about them. Their colors, their movements, their personalities, the way they talk, everything. He became the exact replica of everything that was there. And everything went on as normal, apparently. And this went on for about a year. Lord Brahma, he's wondering, because when the cowherd boys came home, their mothers had more affection for their boys than ever before. When they saw their own sons, they just ran and showed all kinds of love and emotion towards the boys like they never do before. It says they were feeling the same way towards the boys as they felt towards Krishna. But actually, the boys were Krishna, but they didn't recognize it. When the cows were on top of the hill and the cowherd men were herding the cows, they saw their calves at the bottom of the hill. Now, these calves were the older calves. And so all of a sudden, they left everything, these cows, and start galloping full speed down the hill to run towards their calves. And they started to lick the calves, and there was so much love between the cows and the calves that was never seen before. And Balaram's, now he's noticing all this. He's thinking, as it says here, let's see, who has done this mystic power? Where is she coming from? Is it a demigod or a demoness? And then he concludes, must be the illusionary energy of my master, Lord Krishna. Who else could bewilder me? Because Balaram wasn't there during that time. It was his birthday. And so his mother kept him home. And she gave him special abhishek bath and honored him on his birthday. So he stayed home. So now, 1 year later, he comes out again. But this is 5 days before his birthday again. And now he sees what's going on. And he's thinking, we've never seen anything like this before. But then he finally concludes it was Krishna. And Krishna told him the whole story. And then Brahma, after sometimes 1 year of Brahma's time, he comes back. And but what he sees, the same thing before he took the cowherd boys and calves. Everything was just the way it was. So he became bewildered, ran back to the cave, and saw that in the cave the boys were still, and the calves were still there, under his mystic power. And then he ran back, and so it was saying that his heads were spinning in, got 4 heads, but they were spinning in 4 directions simultaneously. So totally bewildered, he couldn't figure it out. it says that Lord Brahma's bewildering power compared to Lord Krishna is like a firefly. Have you ever seen those bugs called fireflies? They fly in the air and they put their tails on. They go ee 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 ee. Little light comes on. So if that firefly flies in the daytime, nobody can see the light. So Lord Brahma's power is like that compared to Krishna's. Like a little firefly in the presence of the sun. So he got bewildered, and of course, after some time, he started to realize who could do this. And then Krishna really bewildered him. He changed all of the cowherd boys and calves into Vishnu forms. So that, of course, they were Vishnu, they were him, but he manifested those Vishnu forms. And when Brahma saw that, then that was all. And then he fell down flat as a rod. And then that same Krishna was there, and he starts offering prayers to Krishna. Krishna's not interested in his prayers. He wants to go back and play with his friends. This big devil guy with big foreheads, big crowns and all kinds. And he's offering prayers, and Krishna's just thinking, when is he going to get over so I can go back and have some fun with my friends? So Krishna likes to play with his friends. And then, of course, at the end, he offers these prayers and says, my dear Lord, I'm so proud of my position as Lord Brahma. So when I come, I want to come next time, and when you manifest your Leelas in the material world. So please, you put me in a position where I don't become proud. So that same Brahma became Haridas Thakur. He was born in an Islamic family. Like that. So this is that pastime. And this, as it was indicated yesterday when Guru Prasad Maharaj was speaking, that this was the last chapter that Srila Prabhupada translated before he departed, which is Canto 10, Chapter 13. And he said that everything that Prabhupada wanted us to know before he left, he put in that chapter. And if you read that chapter, it's so deep in devotion and so, what we say, reflective of Prabhupada's love for Krishna. Because Prabhupada said, I like the cowherd boys. He likes to hear about the pastimes of Krishna killing the demons, He liked the cowherd boys. So we understand that Srila Prabhupada left right after that, not much longer after he finished this. But how could Srila Prabhupada, a pure devotee of the Lord, leave the world under the influence of some physical defect? Not possible. But there was a dialogue between Prabhupada and Krishna for many weeks, whether he should stay or he should come back. Prabhupada said, Krishna gave me a choice to stay or come back. And so, but at the end, this is something that's not written, but it's kind of like understood, that when Prabhupada finished that one chapter, this one, his bhakti became so strong that he decided to go back to Krishna. This is what we say, the inner meaning of Prabhupada's disappearance, which is not so much manifested in the terms of writing, but this is understood by devotees that Prabhupada could not tolerate living without Krishna anymore. So Krishna took him back. So, and this, if you read this chapter, you'll go deeper into the mood of Prabhupada's bhakti for Krishna. Very wonderful. This is a wonderful pastime. It illustrates that Krishna, no matter who tries, no one can bewilder Krishna. Brahma is powerful, but he became insignificant in face of Krishna. Krishna is the master of all mystics. He's called Yogeshwar. Means all yoga power, mystic power, comes from Krishna. And whoever has any power, that power is coming from Krishna. Okay, so go on to the next verse. Verse 5, 141. Oh, this is a long one. Yasyangri pankaja rajo kila lokapalaya malayuta mardrista upasita tirta tirtam brahmam bhavoham mavayasya kala kalaya shrish kodya hema chiram asya nipasananam ka. I'm going to do that again. Let me leave it there. I'm going to try it again. Yasyangri pankajo raja kila lokapalam malyo yatamaya dristam pasitir tirta tirtam brahmam bhavoham vipayasya kala kalaya sri kodyavahe machiramasa nirpasanam kya. Translation. What is the value of a throne to Lord Krishna? The masters of the various planetary systems accept the dust of his lotus feet on their crowned heads. That dust makes the holy places sacred, and even Lord Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi, and I myself, for all portions of this plenary portion, eternally carry that dust on our head. Purport: when the Kauravas, to flatter Balaram so that he would become their ally, spoke ill of Lord Krishna, Lord Balaram became angry and spoke this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 68th chapter, verse number 37. So, this verse, spoken by Lord Baladev, when the Baladev came back to bring back Samba, who was captured by the Kauravas, at one point they spoke ill of Krishna. Lord Balaram became very angry, and he took his plow and he just dug it into the ground. This was Hastinapur, which is now known as Delhi. And he pulled the area of Delhi, and he was going to drop the whole city into the river. The Kauravas got so full of fright and anxiety, they started to offer prayers to Lord Balaram. And at one point, he stopped. And Prabhupada said, because of that, Delhi sits on a tilt like this. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Okay, verse number 142. Kale Ishwar Krishna ar sabrita. Ekale Ishwar Krishna ar sabrita. Yahe yache nacheya se tache kara nrityam. Translation. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller. All others are his servants. They dance as he makes them do so. So we quoted this verse this morning. Next verse. E matta Caitanya gosāñi ekala ishvara ara sabāre kehava kinkara. Thus, Lord Caitanya is also the only controller. All others are his associates or servants. So Lord Caitanya and Lord Krishna are non-different. So when it says no one is greater than the Supreme Lord, it refers not only to Krishna, but also to Lord Caitanya. Next verses, two verses together. Guru Varagya Nityananda Dvaita Acharya Shiva Sari Ariyata Lagu Sam Arya Sabbi Parisada Sabda Lilaya Sahaya Sabdalana Nijakara Sare Godaraya. His Elders such as Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, and Srivas Thakur, as well as his other devotees, whether juniors, equals, or superiors, or all his associates who help him in his pastimes. Lord Gauranga fulfills his aim with their help. So this verse indicates that Lord Caitanya takes help from all of these other personalities who fall into different categories of relationships with him, some equal, some greater, some junior, and he takes help from them to carry on his mission. So, 146. Advaita Charya Nityananda Dui Anga Dui Janalada Prabhure Yate Kinshiranga. Sri Advaita and Sri Nityananda, where plenary parts of the Lord, are his principal associates. With these two, the Lord performs his pastimes in various ways. So here are the primary Angas of Lord Caitanya, Nityananda and Advaita. Okay, next verse. Advaita Charya gosāñi Chakshat Ishvara Prabhu Kari Mani Tinhota Kinkara. Lord Advaita Charya is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Lord Caitanya accepts him as his preceptor, Advaita Charya is a servant of the Lord. Lord Caitanya always offered respects to Advaita Charya as he would to his father, because Advaita was even older than his father. Yet Advaita Prabhu always considered himself a servant of Lord Caitanya. Sri Advaita Prabhu and Ishwari Puri, Lord Caitanya's spiritual master, were both disciples of Madhavendra Puri, who was also the spiritual master of Lord Nityananda. Thus, Advaita Charya Prabhu, as Lord Caitanya's spiritual uncle, was always to be respected, because one should respect one's spiritual master's god brothers as one respects one's spiritual master. Because of these considerations, Sri Advaita Prabhu was superior to Lord Caitanya, yet Advaita Prabhu considered himself Lord Caitanya's subordinate. So we hear from this particular verse, there seems to be a dichotomy in etiquette here. Because ultimately, Lord Caitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Advaita is also the Supreme Lord. But Advaita is older, therefore Lord Caitanya, in the role of a devotee, respected Advaita as if he was superior in all respects. But Advaita Acharya knew who Lord Caitanya was, and so he didn't want to accept that role of being honored by Lord Caitanya. He wanted to be the servant of Lord Caitanya. So what he did was, and Lord Caitanya would not budge. He would not change his mood of respect towards Advaita. And Advaita was thinking, what can I do? So he decided to go out and hear some philosophy that wasn't about bhakti. It was about karma and jnana. And then he was doing it regularly, and then the word got back to Lord Caitanya that Advaita is hearing from these gurus who are putting karma and jnana in a higher position than bhakti. Lord Caitanya, he couldn't tolerate that. So he decided he was going to teach Advaita a lesson. And so one day, Advaita happened to be at his place in Shantipur, along with his wife. Haridas Thakur was there also. And Lord Caitanya was in his place in Navadvip. That's about an hour away. So he said to Nityananda, come on, let's go visit Advaita. So they went, and they were traveling along the area where the Ganga flows, using the Ganga as the way to Shantipur. while they were traveling, they stopped in a house. They saw this little hut. They said, and Lord Caitanya said, "Who lives in that hut?" And Nityananda said, "Well, that's a sannyasi." Oh, really? Lord Caitanya said, "Let's go get blessings, because it's good to get blessings from sannyasis." Okay, so they went in, and then they saw this elderly gentleman, and he welcomed them. And, "Oh, you have come. Yes, please." So they sat down. They said, the sannyasi said, "Please ask me any question you want." And Lord Caitanya said, "I want to know, what is the goal of life?" And the sannyasi said, "The goal of life is to eat, drink, be merry, and be happy." And Lord Caitanya said, "Actually, the goal of life is to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotion." And the sannyasi said, "Just see, these are babes just from the womb of their mother, and they're telling us, who are well versed in everything, what is the goal of life?" So there was a little argument starting to brew. Lord Nityananda, he wanted to stop it. He said, "Oh, let us have some prasadam." The sannyasi said, "Very good idea." So he called his wife. He was a grihasta sannyasi. His wife came out with a tray of foodstuffs. You'll get the point a little bit. So he offered the food to Lord Caitanya and Lord Nityananda. And Lord Caitanya said, "Actually, today I'm not eating so much. I was deciding to fast." And he said, "No, no, 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 no. Actually, you are my guest. You must accept." So Lord Caitanya didn't say anything. And then the sannyasi said, "Would you like some bliss?" And Lord Caitanya looked at Nityananda and says, "What does he mean by bliss?" Nityananda said he wants to know if you want some wine. So Lord Caitanya said, "Let's go." So they ran out and jumped into the Ganga to get purified. In the bogus sannyasi. And they followed the river after getting dried off. They followed the river, and there they wound up at the house of Advaita. And Advaita was sitting with his wife, and Lord Caitanya was looking at him from a distance, and his eyes were like red fire, like angry. And he ran as fast as he could. And he ran up to Advaita and started beating him with his fists. And Advaita was so happy. He was thinking, now he's accepting me as his servant. And Advaita's wife, Sita Devi, she said, "My lord, stop, stop. He's an old man. You'll kill him." And Haridas Thakur was laughing. And then finally, Lord stopped. And he said, "Advaita, what are you doing? You know why I came." He said, "My dear, thank you. My dear Lord, thank you. Now you have accepted me as your servant." So he went through that trouble just to get the Lord to accept him as a servant. So this is a nice pastime here. So, yeah, so the Lord offered respects to Advaita, but Advaita was never happy, and therefore he decided to do something. Okay, so we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for very nice, very nice and instructive series of texts from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Dear devotees, this is the time to unmute yourself and ask questions, and also please turn on your cameras so we can all see. I'm going to stop sharing. And
we got a good crowd out there today.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 32. 32.
32. We got
everybody is 32.
We got 40. We got 8 more sitting in the room.
Okay. 8. smiling faces.
They're in
You have a
New Jane.
question?
They can't stop smiling.
So anyone has question, please ask it
Turn them
from where
upside
you are.
down and keep smiling.
Hare Krishna.
Even
So
Kumara's here and he's smiling too.
Hare Krishna. So Maharaj, where are you now with this devotee?
I'm in New Jane.
Oh, okay.
We're at the tail end of our festival. Yesterday we honored Bhakti Swami Maharaj on his Parents' Day. So there's about over 2,000 devotees that come for the festival.
Wow. That's wonderful. That is very wonderful.
Yeah. Tomorrow we go on pilgrimage.
To where? What?
Ujjain.
Oh, okay. It just could have took it out.
around the areas. This is a holy place. It's full of transcendental places of pastimes of Krishna.
Wonderful. So devotees, we have questions, comments, even some takeaways. Raj, when you were talking about that pastime when Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda were going to Shantipur, and then they stopped at this sannyasi's house, and we made mention of, it looks like a clash of ashrams, because I heard the household ashram and I heard the sannyasa ashram at the same time. And so was it just like it's whatever that sampradaya that that person follows that they could do grihastha sannyasi? Or is it
The guy was completely bogus.
okay? Well, that solves that answers the question there.
He claimed to be a sannyasi, but he was something else.
He had a wife.
Yeah.
Well.
Well, this is Kali Yuga. Try sannyas for a while and try get married for a while. That doesn't work, go back to sannyas.
And he was eating, drinking, and being married. All right.
To follow no rules. This is the age of what we say invention. They're always inventing something new based on what is bona fide.
You have to be careful about our society too. It's protected. I'm hearing all kinds of things now.
Yeah.
That scares me.
It's causing alarm in many places.
Very careful.
Okay. So if we chant the holy names every day with devotion and with following the regulative principles, we can stay fixed in our practice of bhakti.
Yeah. You have a question? Does anybody has a question? Please.
We got some questions. We got questions here. Eka Chakra is going to ask a question.
Oh, okay.
I'll repeat it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Associate of Krishna's
Gopis. Right, yeah.
But Haridas Thakur was from when he narrated the pastime where, he was repenting the mistake he made. But he was so dear to Lord Caitanya, Haridas Thakur, but he's not an eternal existence. Or is that not the right way to think about it?
It doesn't mention about, because the Gauradeshtipika gives the understanding of the different personalities that were associates of Lord Krishna, who reappeared as associates of Lord Chaitanya. Haridas Thakur is not included in that list. Haridas Thakur was Brahma, but there was another personality who also took part in becoming Haridas. There was 3 souls in that body, and the other one was a Brahmin whose name was Haridas. And that's another story how that happened. And then he says he also was carrying the spirit of Prahlad Maharaj. Because Haridas Thakur is very compassionate. Yeah, so
Okay.
question centers around Haridas's identity. So we know him as being the manifestation of Lord Brahma, who came again to assist Lord Caitanya in his pastimes as Haridas Thakur, who became the Namacharya, who became the person who teaches the process of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra.
Well, that's
Okay.
okay. Did
We have another question here. If you don't have
okay,
any,
good. Wonderful.
do you have any questions from your group there?
No questions yet.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a question from Anisha. Nice to hear. Yeah. Krishna's pastimes are always nice.
There was one pastime when Advaitacharya is sitting on a Vyasasan and he's telling all the devotees that we have to merge into the spiritual energy and like that Aham Brahmasmin and like that, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is outside the door and he just came and he with his legs he throws he kicks to Haridas kicked to Advaitacharya, and he fell from the Vyasasan. And Advaitacharya after that said that thank you, you accept me as a servant. That's why you hit me.
Where'd you read that? Huh?
This infection.
Who said it?
In
Never heard it. Doesn't say it that way. It says the way I described it is how it happened. Yeah, but I never heard that. And it's not in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. It's not in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not in any of those two texts. It's not in Lochan Das Chaitanya Mangala either. Just forget about that one. Yeah.
We didn't hear it too clearly here, but
Yeah,
your
well,
response.
we just talked about something you shouldn't hear anyway.
That's what's good. It's good. We didn't hear it properly, but since it's not necessary for us.
You actually heard properly by not hearing.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Any questions from your side?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got.
Please, Mataji, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
She's in here in Ujjain too, but she didn't want to come and associate with us.
No, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true, Guru Maharaj.
Maybe he
All
has
right.
confidential reasons. Maybe.
No,
Go ahead,
nothing
Mataji.
like that. Yes.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Guru Maharaj, starting, you said that Balram has served Krishna with the 5 rasas. So there is a Madhurya Ras also came, right? Am I audible, Guru Maharaj?
I heard the last part. What about Madhurya Ras?
Okay. Balram served Lord Krishna with 5 rasas, right? So there is a Madhurya Ras also came. So what is the difference between Srimati Radharani serve as a Madhurya Ras and Balram serve in a Madhurya Ras to Lord Krishna?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so Balaram, it mentions that Balaram serves the Supreme Lord in all of the 5 rasas. Neutrality, Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. So this is a fact. He becomes the younger sister of Radharani, called Ananga Manjari. So that's as much as I know. I've never heard anyone or read anywhere where there's any further explanation on his pastimes with, unless you go to the Leelas where Ananga Manjari is actually serving in the mood of Madhurya Ras with all of the other gopis. So you can assume that Ananga Manjari is actually also Balaram. He plays both parts. But then again, you might say there is an Ananga Manjari also. So is that an energy of Ananga Manjari, or is it actually the original form of Ananga Manjari? So that has never been discussed in public that I know of. All I know is the acharyas do say that Balaram, in the role of the younger sister of Radharani, Ananga Manjari, serves Krishna in Madhurya Ras. I've never read anywhere, and I've never heard anyone discuss it in relationship to Balaram. All they say is that he expands into Ananga Manjari. So if he wants to expand into her, he can do that. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead also. The idea is that Balaram wants to give pleasure to Krishna in all of the 5 rasas. So in order to do it in Madhurya Ras, he has to become a gopi. So his desire to serve the Lord in all forms of rasas or relationships manifests as a gopi in Madhurya Ras. So we accept that as being fact because the acharyas have given that statement. But as far as the actual leelas are concerned, we haven't heard anything. Or I haven't heard anything. There may be particular books on Krishna's leelas and pastimes with his intimate associates, and that may have manifested there. But I haven't read anything. But you hear about Ananga Manjari when you read about Gopi Lila. But that's all you hear. You only hear about Ananga Manjari. But why would Ananga Manjari want to replace Radharani in relationship to Krishna? She, as a younger sister, would want to give Krishna the ultimate happiness by allowing her sister, Radharani, to associate with Krishna. Because the mood of the gopis is always to give Krishna the highest form of pleasure. And the highest form of pleasure can only be given by Srimati Radharani. So you have to understand things in relationship to not only the position, but to the mood also.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thanks.
A little hard to understand. Bhagavad Caitanya.
Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Guru Maharaj, yesterday at work was like a long day, one of those days where, it's like you're completely immersed. Everything is falling apart. You're trying to fix things. And around noontime or so, I realized I'd done some rounds in the morning. And around noontime or some, I realized that for the last 3 hours, I was almost unconscious. There was no Krishna consciousness. There was no thought of Krishna, nothing. So how can I prevent myself going long stretches like that again without being Krishna conscious? At least, is there any advice you have, Maharaj?
Yeah, carry a pair of shoes with you and just beat your head with the shoes. And then automatically something will happen. Yeah, because Bhakti Siddhanta says you should beat your head with shoes in the morning, and you should beat your head with broomstick in the evening. That way you can remember Krishna.
Do whatever's necessary.
Yeah, and Prabhupada said, I carry a pair of shoes for anybody who needs it. So you can just fulfill Prabhupada's role by keeping a pair of shoes with you. When you forget Krishna, just take them out and give your head a little massage.
I'll keep a light pair, not the winter boots. Chappals, maybe.
Well, after 3 hours of forgetting him, you might need more than winter boots.
No, it's like, I mean, maybe not. Yeah, like it's you're immersed. The reality is you're immersed. There's escalations going on. You're immersed in something you're doing, and maybe at the back of my unconsciously, I'm thinking I was not aware of anything else. I was immersed in what I was doing. Yeah.
So don't be proud of that.
No, I'm not. I'm not proud at all. Yeah, I'm not. I'm ashamed. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 2 solutions.
Yeah.
Carry the shoes
Yes.
or quit your job.
Yes, yes, that is a solution. I mean, I was when I came back, I listened to some kirtan and everything, and I was like thinking, this is not working. This is yeah, yeah,
It's not going to work either.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about that, about the importance of pulling back from our dependency on the secular society.
Hmm.
How much the acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada and other devotees, are encouraging us to find all of our needs within the context of the society.
Hmm.
And then, of course, the natural understanding is to build these farm communities,
Hmm.
create a variety of activities which will encompass all of the needs of
Yeah.
the devotees within the context of devotee association.
Yes.
We can
So that
create our own little, we might say, sangha, a
yeah.
variety of activities. Set up our own schools, set up our own medical facilities, set up everything. And we have doctors who are devotees. We have, what is your occupation?
I am like a software engineer.
Yeah, we can use software engineers to do work in that area too. So there'll be devotees doing everything within the context of devotee society. And that'll expand the society also. And then instead of supporting the secular world, we're actually using our energy in devotional service.
Yes. And at the end of that episode, as soon as I remembered Krishna, I was thinking, this will not happen in a temple. This will not happen in a farm community. This will not happen if you're surrounded by devotees. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So did you get out of the whirlwind?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we solved the problem. Then for the rest of the time, I had kirtan playing in my ear because when you're solving an escalation, you cannot do that. So the rest of the day, I pretty much had continuously kirtan playing in my ear, even though I was doing other things. So it was not a problem. Then, of course, I finished my rounds in the afternoon, listened to some Prabhupada. All was good, but that huge gap bothered me.
Yeah, you should, when we're struggling with whatever we're struggling with, should remember Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then it doesn't become much of a struggle anymore.
Right. It's a very subtle kind of Maya, Maharaj, because you are supposed to jump on to these remote computers and you're looking at these logs, you're trying to solve problems. So it's like the unfortunately that attention goes there, and that's what I was. It's a difficult problem to solve, but I'm working on it. Yeah. Yes.
Practice remembering Krishna.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, we can do that no matter how absorbed we are in our material activities. Doesn't take much time just to remember Krishna.
Yes.
And the quality of our rounds in the morning will help us to develop that consciousness throughout the day. We
Right.
have good chanting in the morning.
Excellent, Maharaj. Yeah, that is something I'm lacking. I do. Sometimes I'm doing my last rounds very late in the night. So yes.
No, you don't want to join that club.
Yes.
Nobody likes that club, but there's many people in it. We call it the late night japa club.
Late night japa club, yeah.
You're tucking in the bedspread and fixing the pillow with one hand and trying to finish the rounds with the other hand. Each round takes about 2 hours. Late night japa club.
Yeah, and there's also afternoon panic japa, Maharaj. When I realized, it's I don't know 4 p.m. or something, and not a single round has been done. There is immense panic japa. Yes.
Yeah, just give me a call when that happens.
Yes.
And I'll beat you with shoes over the internet.
There you go. That'd be so helpful, Maharaj. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, Bhagavan.
Thank you.
Balavan Nitai Das just left something in the chat as a suggestion for you. He says he wears a ring the color of Krishna, and that reminds him of Krishna.
Oh, that is very, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
But really, it is not so much. I mean, I have the picture as my background. I have my phone. I have a picture in front of me. None of that. It's like your brain is immersed in something. How do I get out of it? That is the big problem. It's like I have to remember from you myself. I have to do. There's no external thing that can help me. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Balavan Nitai has a ring too.
Yes.
He's showing his ring.
Yeah, that was my suggestion. It's a special kind of copper called śrī-kṛṣṇa-caitanya. It looks like both the universe and it's the color of the Lord. It's blackish blue.
Yes.
I specifically picked it because of that association. It looks like the color.
Right. And that is incredibly beautiful, Bhavan. Prabhu. It's beautiful. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, just a humble suggestion.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I will try. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The protocol is whatever it takes to remember Krishna is considered to be acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
Any other questions?
We have some questions here from the devotees.
Okay.
Yes, Shiv.
Can I go, Prabhu? Sorry, I can't. I do not see the option. I don't know, in this particular class, I do not see the option for raising the hand. Can I go next?
Yes.
You want to go? Okay, we got Manohar Krishna here.
Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, not a specific question, but just wanted to pay my humble gratitude on this auspicious occasion of the day of Vyas Puja. And
it's not my Vyasa Puja. It's not. My Vyasa Puja is on the 6th of September or the 29th of September. You can choose which one you want to celebrate it on. This was just a day that the devotees in here decided to do the program because I came here. That's all.
Oh, I see, Guru Maharaj. I was not. Okay, I probably thought this is the day. Okay,
No,
so that is 29th of September, you said, right, Maharaj?
From the sun side, 29th, from the TT, the moon sign, it's the 6th of September.
Oh, I see.
So
Sure.
you either missed it or it's coming up.
It's coming up, definitely coming up next, Maharaj.
You can't do the 60 now. That's gone.
Today was just a day I get a little extra kick. That's all.
I see.
Sure, for clarifying. Thanks for clarifying, Guru Maharaj. I was not really aware of. Thank you for that. And this time we are missing the association there, but although we wanted, but need your blessing so that next time at least we can be there in person.
I'm going to write that down. And make sure you come next time.
Sure, Maharaj. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, Shiv, what do you got?
Any
Shiv,
more
come on,
questions?
offer a question.
I had this understanding Maharaj that the avatāra progressive in nature as one advances, he kind of elevates the soul, he used to do exploration of Krishna. But I also hear that the relationship with Krishna is the kind of things that are
He's asking whether the rasas are actually progressive and or are they actually fixed? The answer is they're fixed. But there is gradations of sweetness. That's the gradation. So the sweetness is increasing as it comes up to the Madhurya Rasa, which is the sweetest and most intimate rasa with Krishna. But ultimately they're fixed. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you much.
Who you are in the spiritual world is who you are. That doesn't change.
Hare Krishna. Any more questions from the devotees? Don't see anything in the chat either. Any final questions?
We're getting another question here from actually
Okay,
this
wonderful.
question here. He's asking whether Dasya Ras is
what is convincing and attractive to me.
Dasya Ras is a rasa in itself, but all the rasas include Dasya. He's asking about Dasya Ras in relationship to the other rasas. But the identity of all souls is to serve, which is Dasya. But in the spiritual world, there are those who serve in a particular way, but the mood is just service, such as Patrak and who else? Krishna has his personal servants who do things for him, drives his chariot, his bodyguard. Patrak, and that's one, and Raktak is another one. He's another one. These are actual persons who have Dasya Ras as their Ras. But every one of us is in the mood of Dasya Ras, because every living entity is the servant of the Lord. But how it's expressed differently according to the different mood that one may have. We got a gigantic mosquito in here. Whoa, there he is. Okay, so yeah, so the idea is that we're all Dasya Ras, but there's those who have a fixed rasa as Dasya.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj, for explaining. Okay.
You can open that door and maybe you'll go out. Oh, he's up there now.
It's an insect? Maybe. Any more questions from the devotees?
Well, that's not a mosquito. That's a bug. It's a wasp. Yeah. Okay, who can jump up high enough? We'll wait a little bit. Yeah. Any other questions from your side?
No, no questions here. No questions in the chat. So,
okay, we can end here.
We can end. Yeah. Ma, did you want to chant, Japa, or that should be another time? I don't know.
I'll ask the devotees who are with me if they want to chant, and if they do, we'll chant.
Okay.
Oh, we have one more question.
Ah, wonderful. Okay.
Please. Have to go higher than that. Go ahead. Ask a question. There he goes. Yeah, go ahead, just ask your question. I'm listening.
So, but never used to agree with the disciples on their answers. So there are already some controversies or,
He didn't.
kinds of opinions.
I mean, okay, if you get him caught onto that thing, you can carry him out. Okay, I'm listening. I don't. First of all, I take issue with your statement. Who said Prabhupada never agreed with the answers of his disciples?
There were two opinions, not always, but there were two opinions sometimes. So the statement in the lecture that a spiritual master doesn't always agree with the disciple. Prabhupada said, it's my duty to disagree with my disciples. So why is that?
Well, it's not an absolute principle, but it's not like the spiritual master becomes the disciple and the disciple becomes the spiritual master. In other words, whatever the disciple says has to be in line with the knowledge that the spiritual master is given. If he says something different, then obviously he's not going to agree. But he may also question, even if they give the right answer, to make sure that they understand what they're saying is actually based on true knowledge. You're not good at this, are you? Shiv, you're taller. Actually, call Advaita. He can do it. You don't have the adhikari. Walk outward. Just walk. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Close the door behind you. Okay, stay out. Yeah, so that's not necessarily an absolute principle, but just to say to understand whether the disciple understands what he's saying, even though it may be right, he might question him. Just to understand that, where did you hear that from? Whether it's right. No, not you, but he's asking in the same way. So, but a disciple shouldn't instruct the spiritual master, that's for sure. That's considered a breach in etiquette. On practical things, that's one thing, but not on philosophical things. Like I might speak with Rajeshwari about medicine, and we'll disagree. But then because she's a doctor, I have to surrender. But that means I accept that she has that knowledge. But when it comes to philosophical things, then that's a whole different understanding. Okay. Did you get him all the way out? He's in the big room. We'll have to work on that one too. What is the importance of Varnashram in Varnashram goes under the heading of Daivi, spiritual Varnashram. Spiritual Varnashram is you work according to your nature, but you do it as service to the Lord. In other words, Svanashram is material. It's called Swadharma. That means your natural inclination, either as Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, are Sudra. So that Prabhupada's idea was to engage people according to their nature in devotional service. That's called Daivi Varnashram, not material Varnashram. So yeah, we haven't done that on, what is it called, as a program within our society. People are doing different services, but it may not be according to their nature. And in the material world, people work for money. Therefore, a lot of times they sacrifice what they like in order to get the paycheck, or what they're good at. But if they can serve in the way they like and still get a paycheck from it, they do that. But in Krishna consciousness, in order to organize all of the devotees in a holistic social system, Prabhupada wanted to establish Daivi Varnashram. And the prelude for understanding people's Swadharma is an educational system called the Varnashram College. So it's what we call the unfinished business of Srila Prabhupada's desire for our society. We haven't done that yet, but he wanted that. And he said it can only be done in the farm communities. So we talked about that yesterday. Yeah. Doesn't mean you're a Brahma. It's not by janma, but by karma. Not by birth, but by quality. If you're born in a Brahmin family, you must work as a Brahmin in order to be classified as a Brahmin. If a boy is born in a doctor family, it doesn't mean he's a doctor unless he's trained as a doctor. He can hang his shingle out and say, I'm a doctor because I was born in a doctor family. But then he's a quack. In other words, he doesn't have the qualifications. So to accept this is one of the major arguments that we encounter. People think by birth, but not by otherwise. In other words, it's by birth only, but no, it's not by birth. So you're only a Brahmin if you're actually doing the service of a Brahmana. Well, that might be an inclination because of being born in that family, but that doesn't mean that's going to be the way you do things. It's an inclination only. Training, because in this age, it's called kalos sudra sambhavam. People are not born in any one of their varnas. They're born as a sudra in this age. That's Kali Yuga. So training is needed. Yes.
Living the life of and try to do all our activities centered around Krishna, to make it a Krishna conscious service. But still, it's so attached. Okay, probably talking about myself, so that the children and their well-being and their house. So when that final, you never know when that final exam, time of the final exam comes. So if we, how will we get out of this avatāra?
Well, to take care of the children and take care of the home is a responsibility that should go on. But not only that, the family should become Krishna conscious.
But as a mother, we think about our children or about.
So be a Krishna conscious mother. That's all. That's all.
End of the text, like the time of the text.
But if you're Krishna conscious, then if you remember Krishna, then tattva deham purna janmani, you go back to the spiritual world. There's no what we say restrictions in ashram. Anyone can be Krishna conscious in any of the ashrams. But there's principles that govern each of the ashrams. So we follow those principles. But for Grihastha ashram, the idea is to turn the family into devotees. And then everyone is on the same page. And then although you live within the home is no longer a home. It's a temple, place of worship. And everyone is a devotee.
Maharaj, that doesn't happen that easily.
Yeah,
Taking those.
I didn't say it was easy. You have to work at it. It's a process of cultivation. I mean, you train your children to connect with Krishna in some form or another. In your case, since the children are more grown up, they've already been conditioned in a certain way, so you have to slowly interject spiritual qualities.
Mine is very strong.
Yeah. So that's why community, it makes everything easier. If you have support from other families. But Srila Prabhupada really wanted us to live in community where children can get more of a rounded experience with so many parents, so many friends, so many brothers and sisters. Yeah. So you're undergoing what most families undergo because of the age we live in. A lot of material responsibilities and a lot less time for spiritual practice. So like you're coming here, this is nice. But it wouldn't have been nice if the whole family came. Yeah, then that'll make your work easier when you go home. Yeah. So, but they also have their life and their responsibility. So you have to work from a certain point and try to build it up. So you give them an opportunity to do some spiritual activities. Encourage them to do that. Especially when you have youth. Youth will usually like kirtan. And the youth in our society are really inclined to kirtan. If you can move them in that direction. And that means going and having programs where there's kirtan, going to the temple when there's kirtan, or just they have their life because they're grown up, but still at the same time, they're still open to it. They're not against it. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we have some more questions here, Parikshit. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, but sometimes we hear, depending on the person speaking, we may hear, sometimes we may not hear the question. So if we had a little summary of what the question is about, then it makes more sense in the answer.
That's well, I'll rephrase the question.
There's also one on here. Okay.
Yeah, okay, we got Vijay Krishna. Let him speak. And then we have Eka Chakra.
Yeah, Maharaj, can you hear me?
You're jumping out.
Maharaj, can you hear me?
Yeah, not clearly. So anyway.
Not clear.
You can hear your sound, but not the words properly. You can try speaking. Let's see.
Maybe if I speak slowly. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's clear now. So yeah, you're right. Speak slowly. And then
Well, yes, I have a question. Maharaj, I have been noticing that in general, your kirtans, wherever you are, used to be very extended, very long duration. So based on this, my question would be, why did Prabhupada say that Kirtan Rasa is the safest platform for people who live in the material world? That would be my question.
Well, why is Kirtan Rasa the safest place for people who live in the material world? Because living in the material world, you are surrounded by the material energy and all of its varieties and all of its attempts to distract your mind. When you get into kirtan, there's a shelter there that is none like any other shelter anywhere, provided you're into it. So when we're singing and glorifying the Lord and dancing, we're in the spiritual world. Material energy is gone, no longer there. Stop the kirtan and then it'll rush back in. So yeah, that's also in Shastra. The safest place in anywhere is inside the kirtan.
Yes, Maharaj, thank you very much. You're most kind. Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you, Vijay.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Any other questions? It's quite a few
I have
questions.
one on this side here.
Okay.
You're talking about Vapu and Vani, and you mentioned Prabhupada saying that Vapu is actually two-sided. You can go up in your spiritual life, or you can go down by the physical association of spiritual master. You said depending on your consciousness. And I wanted you to explain that a little bit.
She's questioning something I said in a morning lecture, talking about Vani and Vapu, instructions and personal association. So I was quoting Srila Prabhupada, and it's very practical to understand that in Vapu, personal association, you can take advantage of it if you're in the right consciousness. In other words, and that will help you in your spiritual life. It'll inspire you in your spiritual practice. But if you're somewhat in the wrong consciousness when you're in association, your mind can commit offenses, or you could say something that will bring you down in your spiritual life. In other words, you're subject to either going up or down depending on your consciousness when you're in association. So you have to be careful. In the mood of service, with senior devotees in the mood of inquiry, or in the mood of service and inquiry, with equals friendship, with devotees in a lesser position, opportunities to give them Krishna consciousness. So yeah, Prabhupada says Vapu is not always going to lift you up if you're not in the right consciousness. In other words, he said it's two-way. You can go down to. If you're near the fire and you're not like fire, you can get burnt. That's what it really means.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Okay, you want to chant for a while?
Yeah, I saw Sri-Devi on there and I made a co-host. So if somehow she can, Mataji, if you can put the videos that we use for Prabhupada.
Who's there? Sri-Devi? She popped in on the other side.
Okay, I'll check again.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I'm in the hotel room, temple guest house room, and the internet is very weak. And so I'm joining via the phone, Parikshit Prabhu.
Okay.
It's not possible for me to share pictures or anything of deities.
Okay, so we'll chant. And it's good because I have some rounds to go. Anybody else in the same situation? Everybody you finish your 16 rounds? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You can always chant more.
Yeah.
Shiv, you want to chant? So we'll chant together. You can sit on this. Okay. Give her a little bit more room. You can move up here. Okay. We also have some pillows if you want to sit on. Anybody want a pillow? No? Okay. They say that bottom part of your body is a big pillow. That's why Krishna made it like that. So you have a pillow to sit on. Automatically. Some people have really big pillows. It's more like balloons, but anyway, they're fortunate. They don't need beds. They can have. Krishna is very kind. He gives you a pillow. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Is it too warm in here? You can open that window. You just push down the latch and then it'll slide it to the left. No, we got a screen now. Yeah, now, yeah, open it all the way. And there's a screen. So you get a little bit of air coming in. If you need more, we can run the fan too, if you need more air. The fan? Okay, push the switch. There you go. You can point it in another direction so it circulates the room. Okay, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna